I mean, that's a fold the franchise moment for the Rangers, right? Oh my god, you can never recover from that. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros. I'm here to talk about Game 162 of the regular season, where the Astros win 8-1 over the Arizona Diamondbacks. And somehow, some way, in the last moment of the year, find a way to win the American League West. Mariners, this one's on us, please and thank you. How on earth did this occur? Astros ended this game in the first inning. Alex Bregman with a 2-run shot to put the Astros up 2-0. Michael Brantley with a fielder's choice to make it 3-0. And then you had Jeremy Pena with an RBI single to make it 4-0 Houston. Cashed in a few more runs after that. You had Kyle Tucker with a sac fly in the second. You had Kyle Tucker with a triple where he scores on what might end up being an inside the park home run. I don't know. They're going to be discussing that rule for the rest of time. And then Jose Abreu, who had a really good final series of the season, Jose Abreu. Also, 90 RBI for Jose Abreu. He might have just ended the RBI or a good statistic debate. Like that, he might have just killed it and buried it before our eyes. Because he is... I like Jose Abreu a lot. He's had a very not good season and somehow got 90. Like, we're done with that debate. Then you have the pitching staff, and Javi looked pretty darn solid. 6 innings of shutout baseball. The 4 strikeouts in 6 innings is not where you expect Javier to be, but only gave up a couple of walks, only gave up a couple of base hits. He looked really good, and that is just something you love to see going into the very end of the season and now the postseason. The bullpen was solid. Montero gave up the run, but... who cares? Salsa picked up a strikeout in his inning of work. Hunter Brown was scoreless in the 9th inning. And somehow, some way, the Astros finished the year winning the division. And now I'm in such a strange place. Because 8 days ago, I thought this final video, the Game 162 video, was going to be an autopsy of the flaming dumpster fire that was the Astros season. And trying to pick up the pieces that was a just crippling embarrassment and soul-crushing disappointment. But somehow, they go on a 6-game run to end the season where just about everything breaks right for them and just about everything breaks wrong for the Mariners and Rangers. And they end up here winning the West. I'm genuinely speechless now. Because I was, after the Saturday loss to the Royals last week, the second loss of that 3-game series, the sweep. After game 2 of it, I was done. I was out. I was mentally over this team. And I have pretty good authority to say a lot of people were. Because anyone who texts me, messages me, reaches out regularly, and obviously a lot of commenters, said the same thing, which was, if you have that memorial ready, it's time to go. It's over. Dust your hands of it. We're done here. The season's cooked. Start thinking about 2024. And I was starting to think that the season might be over after, like, Game 78. That was when I first really took that hard stance and said, this might not be a team that can make the playoffs. Because I was unsure. I was. I think I had the right to be. They looked bad after 74 games, or 78. And if you would have told me that they would somehow go on to win the division, I don't think I could have believed it. Even now, I'm in disbelief that they're here. That they have somehow held on and persevered and by a miracle made the playoffs. Not just made the playoffs, won the division. Because everything, until the last week, where the Rangers go on a bit of a skid and the Astros get hot at the exact right time, everything before that, the first, give or take, 150 games, almost everything that could have broke wrong for the Astros broke wrong for them. Like, what they've went through this season. Altuve gets injured before the first pitch and is out for multiple weeks. And then Abreu is nowhere near what you were hoping to get. Right? He is a massive disappointment to what you were hoping for. Pena doesn't take the step forward like you were hoping he would. He's still about an average hitter as far as shortstops are confirmed, but you were hoping he was going to take that step to be an elite hitting shortstop. Bregman takes a slight step back. Maldonado is worse offensively than he was the year previous, but still holds on to the starting catcher spot. Yordan Alvarez misses a little bit of time. You have Kyle Tucker, who was great, and I'm not going to say anything like he wasn't. He led the team in WAR. But people were thinking he was going to reach that like 160-ish number for WRC Plus and become that no-brainer MVP, and he gets about 138-ish, which is still a great season for Tucker. I'm not trying to denigrate that at all. And then you look at the pitching side of things. Fromber takes a massive step back. Javier implodes. You lose Verlander, you get him back eventually, but then he isn't nearly as good as you were hoping he would be, especially how he was the last 10 starts with the Mets. He takes a step back. Montero's a dumpster fire. You have, throughout the bullpen, Presley was up and down a lot this season. You lose Lance for the entire year, and you were hoping he was going to be a massive contributor. You lose you lose Luis Garcia for the entire season after he started to finally look hot. Hunter Brown wasn't anything like advertised. Everything that could break one way or another for the Astros broke against them. They were a shattered team. And for so much of this season, we thought that the final few games, I especially thought the final few games, were going to be picking up the pieces of the fractured team that was the 2023 Astros. Because I didn't think they could do it. And despite getting the green light, despite everything breaking against them, with about 6 games left, they're being, from everything I've ever watched in baseball, thinking, I have the total green light. There is no way they do it. They're done. They are dead in the water. You're going into a series against the Mariners where they have every reason to want to wipe you off the face of the earth. And then a series against Arizona who's going to be fighting for their lives trying to clinch up a spot. There's no way you can possibly do it. I couldn't bring myself to call them dead because they were still just a little bit alive. There was still a pulse. And I couldn't call them dead. Because I'd been given so many reasons not to. Game 2 of 2019, they find a way to persevere. They don't win that series, but they go 7. Game 3 against Tampa, they persevere. Game 5, or after Game 4, against the Braves, they persevere. After Game 1 and 2 last year, they persevere. They never stop. The mental fortitude they have. They always keep pushing. And despite the fact that I thought, they're done, it's cooked, I couldn't bring myself to do it. And somehow, some way, after this roller coaster, this nightmare of a year for the Astros, they stand now at game 162, not just having made the playoffs, but the winners of the American League West and the 2 seed in the American League. They get a bye now. They get to rest for the next 5 days. They don't play till Saturday. They get home field. And I genuinely can't believe what I've watched. This was them at their absolute lowest point. The worst they have been during this stretch. During any of the seasons. I would debate it was a worse season for them from an optics perspective than 2020. Because this team was infinitely more talented than that team. The worst they have been. The lowest valley in this stretch. Pronounced dead by everyone. Buried by the media. Buried by fan bases. DOA on the side of the road. And yet somehow they persevere and are for the 6th time out of 7 years, and the 6th time in as many full seasons of baseball. And now standing at the end of it all, the only phrase that rings in my mind is that if you go for the crown, you better not miss. And the Mariners and the Rangers missed. And once more, the Astros are the last ones left standing. They can now take the next few days to relax, to rest, to game plan. They get to have their choice of pitcher go on Saturday. And it'll be in Minute Maid Park. Time to be decided, pitchers to be decided, team to be decided. But the first game will be October 7th in Minute Maid Park against either the Twins or the Blue Jays. I'll be here for it to stream it. The playoff streams are coming back, baby! I am very excited to do those again. But as for right now, that is all I have to say. From the very bottom of my heart, thank you all. This has been the 4th season I've done this. It gets more fun every single year. There are more of you guys commenting. There are more of you guys liking videos, chatting with me. I build more friendships, stronger friendships. It's been just one of the most fun things I've ever had the pleasure to do, which is make these videos. And whether you watched this video, all 162, or any number in between, thank you guys for making my day every time I get to post one of these. I can't wait to see you guys Saturday. But until then, that is all I have to say. If you enjoyed this video, please consider to like and subscribe. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. And as always, go Astros.